Christmas Eve, 2002. Modesto, California. A young couple's home decorated for the holidays. Tree in the corner. Presents wrapped. A bassinet waiting in the nursery. Laci Peterson was 8 months pregnant. Due February 10th. And dates. A boy. They'd already chosen the name. Connor.K. Everything was ready. The crib. The clothes. The dreams of parenthood. Christmas Eve would be her last normal day. By Christmas morning, she'd be gone. And by April, both mother and son would be dead. Murdered. By the one person who should have protected them most. This is the Laci Peterson case. The murder that captivated America. That made us question picture-perfect marriages. That showed us monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like the husband, the father-to-be, the guy next door. Thought Peterson seemed like a catch. Handsome, successful, devoted. But behind the smile was something dark, something cold, something capable of killing his pregnant wife and almost getting away with it. This is how the perfect marriage became the perfect murder. Almost. December 24th, 2002. Christmas Eve morning. Scott Peterson called Laci's mother, Sharon Rocha, at 5:17 p.m. Said he just got home from fishing. Laci wasn't there. Her car was in the driveway. Her purse on the counter. Her phone at home. But she was gone. Scott said she told him she was going to walk their dog in the park that morning. But when he returned from his fishing trip, no Laci, just the dog. Returned home alone, leash still attached. Something was very wrong. Sharon immediately panicked. This wasn't like Laci. 8 months, pregnant. She didn't just disappear. Sharon called friends. Called neighbors. Started searching. At 5:48 p.m., she called police. Missing person report. Pregnant woman. Last seen that morning. Police arrived. Interviewed Scott. He was calm. Too calm. Said he'd been fishing at Berkeley Marina, about 90 miles away. Left around 9:30 a.m. Came home around 4:30 p.m. When he left, Laci was planning to walk the dog, then mop the floor. She was mopping when he left, he said, but the floor was dry and clean. No sign of mopping. The search began immediately. Volunteers flooded the park. East La Loma Park, Cretaceum Digne. It's where Scott said Laci walked. They searched all night, Christmas Eve into Christmas morning. Families postponed celebrations. Strangers joined the search. Everyone looking for Laci, for any sign. By morning, the story had spread. Pregnant woman missing. On Christmas Eve, the media arrived. News crews, national coverage. Laci's face was everywhere. Her bright smile, her pregnant belly in photos. America was invested. Everyone wanted her found, safe, with her baby. But as hours became days, hope faded, and suspicion grew toward one person, Scott Peterson. Scott's behavior was off. He did interviews, appeared on TV, but showed little emotion. No tears. No desperate pleas. Just flat affect. Monotone. He talked about Laci in past tense. She was not. She is. Red flag. He seemed more concerned about himself than his missing wife. Refused to take polygraph tests. Lawyered up immediately. And his story had holes. He said he was fishing on Christmas Eve in December in cold water. For hours. Who does that? And more importantly, his phone records showed calls made from areas he shouldn't have been. His story was falling apart. And police were noticing. December 30th, 2002. 6 days after Laci disappeared, a woman called the Modesto police tip line. Her name was Amber Frey. She was crying, shaking. She had information about Scott Peterson. She'd been dating him since November. He told her he was single. Never mentioned a wife. Never mentioned pregnancy. She'd seen news coverage. Recognized him. Realized she'd been lied to. Realized she was dating a man whose pregnant wife was missing. Realized she might know something. Might be the key to everything. She was right. Amber Frey was 27. Single mother. Massage therapist in Fresno. She met Scott in November 2002 through a mutual friend. Scott told her he was a successful businessman, recently widowed, ready to date again. He was charming, attentive, romantic, dirty tones. They dated for weeks. He sent flowers, called constantly, talked about future. But he had rules. Never could meet on weekends. Never could come to his place. Had to keep relationship quiet. Red flags. But Amber trusted him until she saw the news, and her world collapsed. She'd been dating a man who was about to become a father, about to have Christmas with his wife, and instead was having an affair. Police asked Amber to cooperate, wear a wire, record conversations with Scott. She agreed. For weeks, she recorded calls. Scott didn't know Laci was missing, he thought. Didn't know Amber knew the truth. So he kept calling, kept lying. The recordings are chilling. On New Year's Eve, Scott called Amber from a candlelight vigil for Laci. Laci's vigil, where her family mourned, where volunteers gathered, and Scott called his mistress, pretended to be in Paris, said he was celebrating New Year's by the Eiffel Tower. He was lying. The recordings proved it. He was at the vigil, calling Amber, while pretending to grieve. It was sociopathic. The recordings revealed motive. Scott wanted out of his marriage, wanted a life without responsibility, without a wife, without a baby. He told Amber he'd lost his wife weeks before Laci disappeared. Lost. Past tense. Like he already knew. Like it was already done. He'd been planning, preparing Amber for the truth, that he'd be single soon. But he couldn't divorce Laci. Divorce meant child support. Alimony. Shared custody. He wanted freedom. Complete freedom. So he chose murder. Chose to kill his pregnant wife. So he could start fresh. With Amber. With anyone. Without consequences. It was calculated. Cold. Evil. When Amber's involvement went public in January 2003, everything changed. The case exploded. Scott Peterson wasn't just a grieving husband. He was an adulterer, a liar, a suspect. Public opinion turned instantly, from sympathy to rage. How could he cheat on his pregnant wife? How could he lie to police? To Amber? To everyone? The lies were too much. The behavior too suspicious. Scott hired a high-profile defense attorney, Mark Geragos, but the damage was done. In court of public opinion, Scott was guilty. Police just needed to prove it. Needed evidence. Needed bodies. And in April 2003, History. They got them. April 13th, 2003. A couple walking their dog on the shore of San Francisco Bay, Richmond area, Int. About 2 miles from Berkeley Marina, where Scott said he was fishing. The dog found something. A body. Small. Badly decomposed. A baby boy. Full term. The couple called police. Forensic teams arrived. Confirmed worst fears. Instantamente, Mufanstua. It was Connor Peterson, Laci's son. He'd been in the water for months. The next day, April 14th, another body washed up. 1 mile away. Adult female. Headless. Limbless. Torso only. It was Laci. Mother and son. Both dead. Both found within 24 hours. Both exactly where Scott said he'd been fishing. Coincidence? Police didn't think so. The autopsies were devastating. Connor had been expelled from Laci's body after death. Natural decomposition process. He'd never taken a breath. Never lived outside the womb. Laci's cause of death couldn't be determined. Too much decomposition. But manner of death was clear. Outside, her head and limbs had been removed. Whether by killer or by sea creatures, unclear. But she'd been weighted down. Anchors. Cement. Tuwaidi. Meant to stay submerged forever. Meant to never be found. But bodies don't always stay where you put them. Water moves. Bodies surface. And Laci and Connor surfaced right where Scott had been. Berkeley Marina. Tots. His fishing spot. His alibi. Now his conviction. April 18th, 2003. Police obtained arrest warrant. But Scott was gone. Missing. Police tracked his location. Found him in San Diego, near the Mexican border. In his car, $15,000 cash, camping gear, 4 cell phones, credit cards in other names, his brother's ID, Viagra. He dyed his hair blonde, grown a goatee, changed his appearance. He was running, fleeing to Mexico. Says, escaping justice. Police arrested him before he could cross. Charged him with 2 counts of murder. Laci and Connor. Scott showed no emotion, no tears, no shock, just blank stare. Like he'd been expecting this. Like he'd known all along this day would come. Sharon Rocha, Laci's mother, collapsed when she learned bodies were found. Her daughter, her grandson, both dead, murdered, dumped in the bay like garbage. The pain was unimaginable. She'd spent 4 months hoping, praying, organizing searches. In searches, doing interviews, begging for Laci's safe return. And now, this. Not only was Laci dead, but Scott did it. Her son-in-law, the man she'd trusted with her daughter's heart, the father of her grandson. He'd killed them both and lied to her face for months. The betrayal was as devastating as the loss. Sharon would later say Scott's the worst kind of monster, the kind that smiles while destroying you. The trial began June 2004. Redwood City, California. Change of venue for Modesto. Too much publicity. Media circus. Cameras everywhere. Protesters with signs. Death to Scott. The prosecution's case was circumstantial. No murder weapon. No crime scene. No witnesses. But they had evidence. Lots of it. Scott's lies. His affair. His behavior. His location. The bodies found where he was fishing. The cement in his warehouse matching weights used to sink bodies. His internet searches weeks before Laci vanished. Searches about currents in San Francisco Bay. Bish. About how bodies decompose underwater. He'd been researching. Planning.t. This wasn't impulse. This was premeditated murder. Amber Frey testified. The courtroom was packed. Everyone wanted to hear from the mistress. She was nervous, emotional.t, but credible. Played recordings of Scott's calls. His lies about being in Paris. His fake grief. His manipulation. She described how Scott presented himself. Single, guy, successful, ready for commitment. All lies. She hadn't known about Laci. Hadn't known about the baby. She was a victim too. Used by Scott. Manipulated. The jury watched her testify. Some cried with her. Amber wasn't the villain. Scott was. And her testimony proved it. Proved Scott wanted a new life. Without Laci. Without consequences. And he got it. By murder. The defense argued reasonable doubt. No direct evidence. No confession. No murder weapon. Bodies too decomposed to prove cause of death. Maybe Laci was kidnapped. Maybe murdered by someone else. Maybe dumped in the bay by coincidence. It was weak. And the jury knew it. Scott's own actions convicted him. The affair. The lies. The flight to Mexico. The changed appearance. The cash and fake IDs. Innocent people don't behave this way. Innocent husbands don't cheat on pregnant wives, then act relieved when they disappear. Scott's behavior was damning. More damning than any physical evidence could be. He showed who he was and what he'd done through his own choices. November 12th, 2004. Guilty on both counts. Murder of Laci Peterson. Murder of Connor Peterson. Scott showed no reaction, just stared ahead. His family sobbed. Laci's family collapsed in relief. Justice. Finally, after 2 years of hell, 2 years of searching, of grieving, of watching Scott Liggett kind, of enduring media, of living nightmare, finally, justice. The penalty phase began. Would Scott get life in prison or death? The jury deliberated. Sharon Rocha gave victim impact statement. Described her daughter, her joy, her love, her excitement for motherhood. Described the hole left by her absence. The grandson she'd never hold. The future stolen. She looked at Scott and said, "You destroyed my family." He didn't flinch. December 13th, 2004. The jury recommended death. Death penalty. For killing his wife and unborn son. Judge accepted recommendation. Scott Peterson was sentenced to death. Sent to San Quentin State. Prisoned. Death row. Where he sits today. Over 20 years later. Still alive. Still appealing. Still claiming innocence. His family believes him. Maintains he was wrongly convicted. They fought for years. New trials. New evidence. DNA testing. Everything. But nothing has changed. Scott remains convicted. Remains on death row. And Laci remains dead. Buried with Connor. Mother and son. Together. Forever. In 2020, Scott's death sentence was overturned. Not his conviction. Just the sentence. California Supreme Court ruled jury selection was flawed. Jurors who opposed death penalty were dismissed improperly. Scott was sentenced to life without parole. He'd been on death row 15 years. Now, life in prison. Different cell. Same prison. Same guilt. His family celebrated, said this was progress toward exoneration. But legal experts disagreed. Conviction stands. Evidence stands. Scott murdered Laci and Connor. Resentencing doesn't change that. Just means he'll die in prison. Of old age. Not execution. Some say that's mercy. He didn't give Laci. Others say it's justice delayed. Either way, Scott will never be free. The Los Angeles Innocence Project took Scott's case in 2024. They're investigating, testing DNA, searching for alternate suspects. They believe Scott might be innocent. That evidence points elsewhere. They filed motions, requested testing of duct tape found on Laci's pants, requested access to evidence never tested before. The court is considering. Will the Innocence Project find something? Something that changes everything? Most legal experts are skeptical. The evidence against Scott was overwhelming. But the Innocence Project has freed wrongly convicted people before. Stranger things have happened. We'll see. As of 2024, and the investigation continues. And so does Scott's fight for freedom. Netflix released a documentary in 2024, American Murder, Laci Peterson. It reignited public interest. New generation learning the story, older generation remembering. The documentary interviewed everyone. Laci's family, Amber Frey, investigators, Scott's family, even Scott himself, recorded phone calls from prison. He maintains innocence, claims he was unfairly judged, that media convicted him before trial, that he's a victim too. Laci's family disagrees vehemently. They say Scott is where he belongs, that justice was served, that no amount of appeals will change truth. Laci is dead. Scott killed her. End of story. The house where Laci lived has changed hands multiple times. No one wants to live where murder was planned, where Laci spent her last night alive. The neighborhood remembers. Memorial still stands in the park, where volunteers searched, where hope died, where community came together. Modesto changed after Laci. Trust eroded. Marriages scrutinized. The case made everyone wonder, how well do we know our partners? What are they capable of? If Scott could kill Laci, who else is capable? These questions haunt, make us look closer, trust less. It's sad, but maybe necessary. Maybe vigilance saves lives. Laci's family established a foundation, the Laci and Connor Search and Rescue Fund, helping other families of missing persons, providing resources, funding searches, offering support. From their tragedy, they created purpose, created help for others. Sharon Rocha wrote a book for Laci, telling her daughter's story, keeping her memory alive. Proceeds benefit the foundation. It's beautiful and heartbreaking because Sharon would trade it all. Every foundation, every book, every good deed, to have Laci back. To hold Connor, to see them alive. But she can't. So she does this, helps others, honors her daughter, makes meaning from meaningless loss. Amber Frey disappeared from public life, changed her name, moved away, built new life. She was collateral damage, innocent victim of Scott's lies. But public blamed her, called her homewrecker, said she should have known. How could she? Scott was skilled liar, practiced manipulator, Doski. Amber did the right thing, came forward, wore wire, helped convict him. She's a hero, not a villain. But being a hero doesn't erase trauma, doesn't undo being used, being lied to, being part of something horrific. Amber deserved better, and hopefully she's found peace. Away from spotlight, away from judgment, living quietly, healing. Is she? Why did Scott Peterson kill his pregnant wife? Psychologists have theories. Narcissistic personality disorder, lack of empathy, inability to handle responsibility, fear of being trapped. Scott wanted freedom, wanted the bachelor life, wanted no commitments. But he had wife, baby coming, mortgage, adult responsibilities. And he couldn't handle it, couldn't face it. So he eliminated it. Eliminated Laci, eliminated Connor. Thought he could start over. Fresh slate, no baggage. It's sociopathic thinking. Normal people don't solve problems with murder. But Scott isn't normal. Never was. Scott's childhood was normal. Middle-class family. San Diego. He wasn't abused. Wasn't neglected. No obvious trauma. Just normal kid. Popular dot. Athletic. Charming. Goethe. But charm can hide emptiness. Can hide lack of empathy. Can hide someone who sees people as objects, not humans. Scott saw Laci as obstacle, not wife, not mother of his child. Obstacle to the life he wanted. So he removed the obstacle. It's chilling, but it's who he is, who he always was. Laci just didn't see it, couldn't see it, until it was too late. By then, she was married, pregnant, trapped with a man capable of killing her. The affair with Amber shows Scott's mindset. He was already building new life. While Laci was pregnant, while they were buying baby furniture, he was dating Amber, sleeping with her, making plans with her, living double life. Most people can't do this, can't compartmentalize like this, can't maintain two realities simultaneously. But Scott could, easily. No guilt, no conflict, just switching between lives. This ability to compartmentalize is marker of sociopathy, of someone who doesn't feel normal human emotions, doesn't bond, doesn't attach, just performs, mimics emotion, while feeling nothing. That's Scott Peterson. Empty, performing humanity, while being monster. Could anyone have stopped this? Could Laci have seen the signs? Maybe. Red flags existed. Scott's coldness, his distance, his increasing absences. But hindsight is cruel. In the moment, these seem like normal marriage problems, like stress from pregnancy, from finances, from life. You don't think my husband might kill me. You think we're going through a rough patch. Laci trusted Scott, loved him, believed in their marriage. That trust killed her. And it's not her fault, not her failure. It's his. He's the monster. He's the killer. She's the victim, who trusted the wrong person, who loved someone incapable of loving back. We can't blame her for that. We can only blame him. Laci Denise Rocha was born May 4th, 1975. Grew up in Modesto. Loved animals. Wanted to be teacher. Met Scott in college. Fell in love. married him in 1997. By all accounts, she was happy, bubbly, optimistic, loved decorating their home, loved entertaining friends, was excited about motherhood, thrilled to be pregnant. She decorated the nursery, bought tiny clothes, read parenting books. She was ready to be mom, ready to love Connor, ready for this next chapter. And Scott took it from her, took everything, her life, her son, her future, all of it, gone on Christmas Eve. While the world celebrated, Laci was being murdered by the man who vowed to love her forever. Connor would have been 22 years old now, would have graduated college, would have had whole life ahead. We'll never know what he would have been, what he would have achieved, who he would have loved. All stolen before he even took breath, before he even lived. Scott didn't just kill Laci. He killed potential, killed future, killed love that Connor would have given, received, created. That's what murder takes. Not just one life, but all the lives that life would have touched. All the moments, all the memories, all the love, gone. Because Scott Peterson was too selfish, too empty, too cowardly to just get divorced. Like normal person, he chose murder instead. The lesson here isn't complicated. Pay attention. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, investigate. Don't ignore red flags. Don't make excuses for partner's behavior. Coldness, distance, lying. These aren't normal, aren't acceptable, are warning signs, maybe not of murder, but of bad relationship, of unsafe person. Laci couldn't have predicted Scott would kill her, but maybe, if she trusted her instincts earlier, she could have left, could have gotten away, could have raised Connor alone, far from Scott, safe, alive. We can't know, can only wonder, and learn, and watch for signs in our own relationships, in friends' relationships, in family. Be vigilant, be aware, be willing to speak up, to intervene, to help. Scott Peterson sits in prison today. California State Prison, Macy Unit, Court. Population 1 Titikantiwa, Mendao, Illinois, Andiga, Him, highest, isolated, alone. Exactly what he wanted. Freedom from responsibility. Freedom from family. He got his wish, just not the way he planned. He's free from Laci, from Connor, but he's trapped for life, in prison, in guilt, in consequences of his actions. He's 52 years old now. Vildi, in prison, of old age, natural causes. More mercy than he gave Laci, more time than he gave Connor. Is that justice? Depends who you ask. Laci's family says yes, says he's where he belongs. Scott's family says no, says he's innocent, wrongly convicted. The evidence says otherwise. The jury says otherwise. The law says otherwise. To the families of murder victims, to those who've lost someone to violence, to those who've been betrayed by someone they trusted, you're not alone. Your pain is valid. Your anger is justified. Your grief is real. The world moves on, but you're stuck, frozen in worst moment of your life, trying to make sense of senseless, trying to find meaning in meaningless, trying to survive when part of you died with them. Keep going, keep fighting, keep their memory alive. like Sharon Rocha does for Laci, like thousands of families do for their loved ones. They're gone, but not forgotten. Their stories matter. Their lives matter. And keeping their stories alive might save someone else, might help someone leave dangerous relationship, might make someone pay attention to red flags. That's legacy. That's meaning. That's love continuing, even after death. This has been the story of Laci Peterson, the young woman who deserved better, who deserved to be mother, who deserved to grow old, who deserved a husband who loved her. She got none of those things. She got Scott Peterson instead. And Scott Peterson took everything from her on Christmas Eve. While the world celebrated love and family, he murdered his own. And almost got away with it. Almost. But justice came. Slow. Painful. But it came. Scott is in prison. Laci is at peace. Buried with Connor. Mother and son. Together. Forever. Remember her name. Remember her smile. Remember that she was real. She mattered. She still matters. And she deserves so much more than she got. Rest in peace, Laci and Connor Peterson. May you finally have the peace that was stolen from you in life.